Across the Board with Ian the Colonel here on Hawk Radio, hawkradio.org.
That song wakes me up.
It's an incredible song. We love that song. And again, A Day to Remember, good friends of the show here. Did miss that show last weekend, too.
Bummer.
We just don't have enough time to get out to all those places. So many good shows touring right now. Definitely go check out those bands. If they're in your area, your country, wherever you are, check out those bands. You can always get in touch with us, and we will let you know what is going on with all of them. So we're going to play the interviews here that I did with actresses Sharon Stone, Pam Grier, Tyne Daly, and actor David Alan Grier. Now, this is going to be a little bit different because this was sort of it was here at a gala at the university. It was a fundraiser, but it was sort of a red carpet type deal.
Right.
So it wasn't me sitting in a room with them for 15 minutes asking, firing questions. This was hey, I'll ask a question of this person, go on to the next person. And there were several members of the media there, regional media. In fact, Entertainment Tonight was there as well, doing a segment. So you're going to hear background noise. You're going to hear a lot of other people in the background. And every once in a while, people would bump into me and bump into the mic, and you're going to hear that pop every once in a while. So I apologize for that. So here's how we're going to do this. I'm going to talk about what I asked them, what the question was, and then I'll play that sound bite. So it'll be a little bit different here, but so we'll be kind of live and recorded here at the same time. So first, we asked a general question. Again, I had two students with me at this that intern with the show and the station. This was a general question asked to, I guess, was answered by David Alan Grier, Tyne Daly, and Sharon Stone, all three of them. The question was, what advice would you give young people or newcomers? Because a lot of these questions were geared to find out who they were, but it was also for the student interns to, what advice in the entertainment industry, can you give? So again, what advice would you give to young people or newcomers? And this was the answer. I believe I'm playing the right clip here. We'll see.
You know what? Here's what I think. For actors especially, young men and women, you have to define yourself to others. Because especially as young actors, you go into a room, you're judged. So many times people are going, oh, I know what you do. I think I know what you can do. I think I know what you can't do.
Who you are.
Exactly. And that's what I would tell you. Define yours. Tell those people, this is who I am, as opposed to waiting for someone to tell you, I think I know who you should be.
And
that's
what stereotyping.
Yes.
Are you going to be stereotyped or are you going to be out of type? And you're a character actor and your range is brilliant. Mm-hmm. And wide and vast. So you have to really know. Listen to the master.
I'm still defining myself.
What you're saying, the first rule is know thyself. And the second rule is this, above all, to thine own self be true. So you have to find out who you are first, and then you have to have the guts to stick to that and be true to yourself. And those are two great things.
It kind of faded out there. I don't know why they're fading out at the end there. It's the system, I guess, fading in there, Colonel. We need more pad or something. Anyway, so that was actually all four. I don't think Sharon Stone was heard in that one, but David Alan Grier, Pam Grier, and Tyne Daly was the last to speak there. So the second question we asked was, what is your proudest moment? This could be personally or professionally in their life. What was their proudest moment? And I think we just have Sharon Stone and Tyne Daly answer this. Tyne Daly, I do believe, is up first, so here is that bite.
Hopefully it's yet to come. I don't like to play categories and make lists of what's better or best. We have this disease of the top 10. I actually don't believe in it. I think that whatever you're up to should be your proudest moment on that day.
Certainly your Tony would be one of them.
Huh?
Your Tony would be one of them.
No, you're wrong.
No.
The Tony winning the night of the Tony Awards was one of the worst nights of my entire life.
Really?
Yes, and you'll have to have a long interview in order for me to tell you that story. The next one's going to be fun.
My proudest moment is certainly, I would say, to be having dinner with all my kids.
So having dinner with all her kids is what she was saying there, Tyne Daly and Sharon Stone at the end there. So Tyne Daly won a Tony for Gypsy back in 1989, something like that, I think.
A while back.
Right, and you would think it would be the best night of her life, which is what I assumed. And then she said in that bite, it was actually one of the worst nights of her life, but she didn't have enough time to give me the entire story. So hopefully someday I'll be able to get the rest of that story because, I don't know if someone in her family died. I mean, did she have a relationship issue, a health issue? I have no idea, but I was like, Okay.
Kind of thrown by that.
Yeah, really. I was left in a lurch there. So you rang. Third question, and this was also answered by Tyne Daly and Sharon Stone. What is your next move, and how do you stay relevant and established in the entertainment industry? So again, asking Tyne Daly and Sharon Stone, what is your next move? How do you stay relevant and established in this industry?
It's a difficult business to get into. It's a harder one to stay in. But, you keep on plying your trade. I like to do... I set out to do all the games there are to play in this business. So there's nothing that I think I won't do. I won't do this, I won't do that. I like to play new games. So right now I'm doing a cabaret, which I developed over the last couple of years. I'll do a play in the spring in New York.
Masterclass.
But there's nothing that I won't consider doing. Now, you also get to turn stuff down. You get to say no, but don't say no. Don't say no until you've considered it. Don't say no until you've considered it.
The direction that it's gone.
I don't think you can be an artist if you have boundaries. I think you have to understand that you're portraying the human condition.
Yeah.
And we as humans do very many strange and peculiar things. And we have to be willing to understand and express those things. And the more we look into the lives and the psychological estates of humanity, the more we understand ourselves and others.
Yeah.
And it's a wonderful journey. It's a wonderful, wonderful journey.
Except that I really could have been a happy baker.
I get to be a better baker the more I invest myself as an artist. I find the baking and the acting and the humanitarian efforts all seem to grow hand in hand because I'm more free in my baking.
Yeah.
I am. I don't follow the recipe. I put some of that in there, and I put a little bit of this in there.
No, that's salad dressing. Baking.
Salad dressing.
Salad a little this, little that.
I can't
Baking
use a bottle
strict.
dressing anymore. I haven't used a bottle dressing
in years. So got cut off there again with a fade. But Colonel had a good idea of how I can play those without a fade, so I think this next one will be fine. So again, interesting answers that they had here. Very fascinating, all four people, and we still have more to come from all of them. But an interesting metaphor, I thought, with the baking and the salad dressing, as opposed to the mixing and that kind of thing, and how they manage their lives, their celebrity, and their schedules as well.
Right.
Next question: who inspires you? So, with a lot of our artists that we talk to, whether they're athletes, actors, musicians, regular people doing any job, it's always interesting who inspires that person to do what they do every day and to be a great person. So this would be Tyne Daly and Sharon Stone again answering. So who inspires you?
He has spoken here at one of our graduations. Incredible man.
My job is to be a storyteller and to pretend to be other people. People who are authentically do their lives, who do themselves very well. Those are the people that inspire me. And it seems to me that President Obama does himself very well. It seems to me that Rosie O'Donnell, there are people who do themselves very well, and that I admire that. Who live themselves.
I'm a big fan of Jimmy and Rosalind Carter. I mean, I think she put the lady in First Lady, and it just was amazing, is amazing to me, the things they continue to do with their lives. I'm just such huge fans of them. Tutu, love. I think he's amazing.
I also think that inspirations are all over the place. They don't have to be famous people.
There are people, there are janitors that stay after school and teach the kids their homework. That makes me so happy when I see that kind of activity.
Or save up their money and leave it to to do good works after they're gone. I mean, there's
moms
inspiration.
and dads who take in other kids in the neighborhood who don't have somewhere to go after school.
All that stuff.
I love to see
Inspiration from the Greek literally means to take in air. To inspire somebody means to breathe. So if you're breathing, you can be inspiring. If you want to.
I was in a refugee camp in Uganda, and I saw these little kids who were maybe 4 or 5 years old, and they had babies on their backs, and they were the caretakers of the babies. And I thought, you know, that is one of the most inspirational things I've ever seen. These toddler kids, these 4 and 5-year-old kids are taking care of these motherless infants. That was really amazing. Really amazing. And these are the kind of things that are inspiring when you think about that these kids don't have water. They don't have food.
He has spoken here at one of our graduations. Incredible man.
It's playing again
Got
there.
the loop on there.
Apologize for that. Yeah, the loop on. But anyway, in that beginning part when I was talking about who has spoken here, they mentioned Desmond Tutu, Archbishop Desmond Tutu from Africa there, so who has, again, spoken here and is an incredibly inspiring man and a great speaker, just a master of speech. Anyway, moving on here. The next question was to David Alan Grier, again, from In Living Color, Blank Man. He's been on Martin, been in so many films. He's been in Broadway now. What is next in your career is what we asked him. What is next in your career? And here's David Alan Grier's response.
To keep working. You know, my motto for myself, my challenge for myself is to be funny, be productive, be artistic, be creative today, right now, as opposed to living off of my laurels in the past. It's my life, I endorse it, but I continue to move forward, you know what I'm saying? And to try and discover new and different things. Like last season on Broadway was the first time I'd ever done a dramatic play on Broadway, no one had ever done a new play. That was a part of my resume, my career that was empty, and my whole career I'd wanted to do, and this opportunity came and I was able to take it, and it was an amazing experience. So that's what I mean, you know, it's for today. Go on and get it, and don't stop till you can't grab it and hold it.
It's good advice.
Absolutely it is. You know, when you think about it, people don't really take comedians that seriously sometimes because they spend so much time, you know,
right,
being funny. And when you think about it, a lot of those guys are very intelligent and they have some very good advice to give.
Mm-hmm. And this was, we asked him, would he do a Broadway play again? Because he mentioned he did a Broadway play. It was something new to him. It was dramatic, and no one had done it before. So we asked, would he do a Broadway play again? You know, if it was new to him, would he do it again?
I may do something else. I mean, stage has been a continuing part of my life. It gets harder and harder to go back. You know, I have a young daughter, and but when I can, when the opportunity, you know, all the planets have to align. One of the things was I was able to do it. A lot of times we're asked to do things. I'm busy. I can't. I'm committed to something else, and so that's out of my hands. But of course, it'll always be a part of my life.
Part of his life, he was saying there. Again, he's getting clipped at the end, but working on that. And I think it's fascinating, and I would love to see him in a dramatic role. I think some of the best comedians are great dramatic actors as well. Robin Williams certainly being one of those. I think Steve Carell is a very good dramatic actor, and some things that I've seen him in.
Right.
I think he's underrated for his drama as well. What are you most comfortable? Where are you most comfortable? Is the next question we asked of David Alan Grier. And does he like a challenge? So where are you most comfortable? Meaning on stage on Broadway, on a TV set, on a movie set. Where are you most comfortable? And does he like a challenge?
What I love is the variety of my career, that I'm able to traverse many mediums, and I don't really get time to get sick of one thing because I'm able to go and do other things. I mean, the one thing I would love to do is I would love to do a really great dramatic role on film. So that's something I look forward to and work toward, and in the meantime, you keep doing work, you know.
So keep working until he finds a great dramatic role. And I think that would be cool.
Yeah, I mean, you definitely want to be picky in those instances.
If you can. Yeah, a lot of people don't have that ability, Ben Affleck. But some people can go out and pick whatever anything they want, like Matt Damon, for instance. Well, so we asked him, he said, you know, he's talking about picking his projects. So we asked him what, you know, director, producer, you know, what big-time person in Hollywood would he work on a project with if he had his druthers, and this was his answer.
Quentin Tarantino, I would love to work with. He's a genius. I would love to work with Darren Aronofsky, who did The Black Swan, who's pretty brilliant. You know, geniuses. Paul Thomas Anderson is another one who's brilliant. I've always wanted to work with Spike Lee. I've harassed him for years. Perhaps one day.
Catch him at the Knicks game.
Say what?
Catch him at the Knicks game.
Yes. Is he on the team bus now?
He travels. He's at every away game. I've seen that.
Man, he needs, my words to Spike are tone down the wardrobe, please.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Dress like a director. Okay, that's all I want.
He's still Mars from 1982, I think.
Man, see, that's another reason why I won't be working soon. He'll probably hear these comments. No, but you got to be real. I'm always me.
Be real, I'm always me. That's, again, great advice.
Yeah, I mean, when you're fake, people notice.
Yeah, no one can take that from you. So,
right.
You know, people say, what do you want to be in the world? What would make you a success? You know, what do you want to be when you grow up? Be you. Don't try to be someone else. I completely agree with that. It's simple, and it seems obvious.
But a lot of people fail to hear that.
Right, they overlook it. They take that kind of thing for granted. Then I asked David Alan Grier again that you're listening to Across the Board with Ian the Colonel here on Hawk Radio. My interviews with some of the celebrities that were at our annual fundraiser. I asked David Alan Grier, in his opinion, what is the purpose of a celebrity in the world? Now, my purpose in asking that question is, do you think a celebrity is just to entertain? Do you think they are to use their fame and notoriety to make social change? You know, is that necessary? Is it not? You know, do you just make people laugh? So on and so forth. So what do you see as the role of a celebrity? And this is David Alan Grier's response.
First of all, it's to entertain, because if I don't entertain, you're not going to listen to me anyway. Okay, so first and foremost that. Don't take yourself too seriously. When I get a chance to use my art in a positive and transformative way, like being a part of this weekend, it's my pleasure to do so. I mean, and there have been so many times in my career when I felt like no one was watching, that everyday people correct me and correct my thinking. I can't tell you how many times just strangers have come up to me and told me how moved they were by my work, how it's affected their lives, you know. So I have the luxury of that. You know, my mom was a school teacher. I don't think people told her every day. People tell me every day. People I'd never seen before, probably never see again. You know, so that's why it's pretty great. People don't really stop me and go, dude, I saw you in a movie. You suck. Usually if they're going to stop you, it's with love. So, I mean, I feel blessed, you know, like that.
Well, I think one of your greatest gifts is that you in particular, comedy continues. I could watch In Living Color over and over again. I could watch Blank Man 1,000,000 times, and it's still funny. That's a rare gift.
I never, ever thought people would still be talking about it because, you know, in 94, the internet was here, but it wasn't like it's here now. There was no YouTube. There was none of that. I mean, I did a play recently with all these young actors, and anything we talked about, you just pressed a button, there was that sketch immediately. So, you know, we didn't have that frame of reference that you have now. And so there are kids who've watched or were watching Living Color that were too young to watch it before, and I didn't really expect that. And it's a pleasant surprise because I love it.
Yeah, you know, In Living Color will always endure. I think it's hilarious. I don't think it's dated material. I think you can watch it 10 years from now; it's still hilarious.
Absolutely, there's not. I mean, there's a few things from here and there, you know.
But so many people got their start from that. Jim Carrey got his start from In Living Color. Obviously,
Wayans brothers,
all 70 of the Wayans brothers. David Alan Grier, Tommy Davidson, who I guess really hasn't done much. Jamie Foxx.
Yeah, Jamie Foxx.
Oscar winner. I mean, Jamie Foxx got his start on there. Wanda, you know, must be midnight. So just a fantastic show, and it's great that people still listen to it and still know. J-Lo, that's right. She was one of the original Fly Girls. Yeah. Good call. So many people came out of that. So many, great minority actors, actresses, and so forth. So last question here, and then we'll get into some music, come back, do our music news, MMA stuff, and get out of here. But the last question, this was actually of Pam Grier, who was Foxy Brown in the 70s blaxploitation film Foxy Brown of the same name. we asked her what is coming up next for her, what are the projects that she's working on. So here's her exclusive answer. Again, Pam Grier here on Across the Board.
Okay, first of all, I have 3 films coming out. One with Tom Hanks and Julia Roberts called Lyricon coming out this summer. Ving Rhames, Mafia is coming out, and then one I just filmed with Rissa, formerly of Wu-Tang Clan, who's directing a film with me, Russell Crowe, and Lucy Liu that's coming out in the fall. And Foxy, my memoir, is going to be a film as well. I have various charity endeavors. I'm promoting literacy. What I like doing is the small community bookstores are providing summer reading camps for our children so we can try to keep up, because there's going to be no longer any of the 3 Head Start programs. They're cutting out educational programs, which is absurd. So some of the community bookstores have these reading camps, and they're teaching Swahili, Mandarin, and Szechuan Chinese, and they're supportive by the community, and they get lunch, and they learn to read, and they speak languages. So I'm supporting those, and I'm an animal activist, women and child activist, and you name it, we're doing it all. So basically, Miles Before We Sleep.
Miles Before We Sleep. So Pam Grier, whose biggest film, she's been active in past years, but her biggest film was over 30 years ago, and she is still staying busy, like she said, politically, personally, and professionally. So
I feel
all
like
of
it's
that's
miles
great.
to sleep for me too.
Yeah, you haven't slept in quite a while, huh?
Yeah,
poor fella.
I'm hurting
You're
over here.
hurting. Well, we'll get you through. How about this?
I need a Red Bull.
I'll play a little.
Where's our PA? I need a Red Bull.
What, are we sponsored by Red Bull?
No, but those things really work.
We can make that happen. Let's get into a little bit of music then. I'll get a couple songs here that I know will wake you up for sure. And just when we come back, we'll do music news again. Thanks to those actors and actresses for being on the show. And we'll have our music news on their side of this, MMA news, so on and so forth. So let's get some music to get the Colonel awake here. Again, you are listening to E and the Colonel over there on Across the Board on Hawk Radio.
HawkRadio.org.